All right, so we're going to touch base a little bit on some equipment that we've finished up. I haven't done a real good job of keeping you guys up to date. Told you on one of my videos we had to do the PTO brake on this T8. We finished that. I hooked it up to a baler and tested it all out. All three of my 340 plus balers are done and field ready. We did basically the same thing on every one of them. Stuffer brakes, chains if they needed it. I did chains on 2 of them. Knives on all of them. Plunger bearings, side rollers for the plungers, broken tines, cam track rollers, checked the wheel bearings, replaced all the rollers on the needles, everything that I showed you guys in my previous video. We did it to all 3 of them. They're all done. Test tied them. They tied beautifully, so we're good there. I just wanted to touch base on that with you guys, and then you guys saw in the one video that we did the brakes on one of my 8870s, and I did that on 2 machines. And then we went over and did we seeded a bunch of rangeland with my big 40-foot seeder, and it broke a few seed cups, so we went through and replaced all the broken seed cups on that. That was a little bit of a project as well, but all that's all done, so we're ready to rock and roll. These tractors are going to go back out and do some more farming before we get to haying, but that's kind of where we're at on it. I just wanted to make sure everyone was up to date on the videos. I didn't do a very good job of staying up to date on it, but all the balers are done, all my tractors are done, and we're going to move on to the swathers next here shortly. I got to get my conditioner rolls ordered in, and we're going to go over here and do a little reviewing on the Mil-Stak. All right, so we got the Mil-Stak SP3255. This is our newest model. We ran 2 of these last year. I kept this one. This one was the one that Richie, who's holding the camera, ran. Hauled 42,000 bales with this machine in 1 season. That was from basically the 2nd week of June to the last week of September, off and on all year. We did 4 cuttings of alfalfa on 11,000 acres. So, well, there was some grain and stuff mixed in it. I would say it was probably about 8,000 acres of alfalfa, and the rest was grain and grass mix kind of stuff. But hauled a lot of hay with them. We had one pull type we didn't hardly haul anything with. I had another one of these that hauled 38,000 and some change bales, but these are pretty badass machines. The one regret that I have is when we bought them, we went right to Fruitland, Idaho and picked them up from the factory. Really cool people. They walked us through the factory. You could eat off the floor. I mean, just immaculate. Everything about the thing was immaculate. The one thing that I regret is I should have had them, because there was a lot of electronic stuff on this for like mag pickup sensors. I should have had them come to the field right off the bat and set this thing up in the field. And so we kind of fought with just minor stuff, nothing major, just sensor adjustments. They come out and did a software update about 3 weeks into having them, and then everything went fairly smooth from there. They went to like the New Holland Harrow beds have leaf springs front and rear. These have semi airbags and 4-link suspension in the front, and if you want to pan down on this, I can kind of take over on that. I can get down and show these. It is one heavy duty setup. So it's 4-link suspension and legitimate semi-size airbags, not the little pickup airbags like the New Holland Harrow beds have, and this has it on both sides, the airbag on both sides, plus shocks, plus overextension straps, which those occasionally break if you hit a really deep pivot track or something hard, and those will occasionally break, but they're 2 bolts. You put them on and no big deal. Extremely heavy framing, onboard air brakes, water cannon. The cab is freaking huge on this thing. This went back for some warranty work on this. We had some cracks on this clamp that they addressed, and they treated us really well. As you can see, if you pan that deal up in here, they plated it on both sides just like this on this clamp, and they took care of all that. When you get them, one thing we did run into, and they'll have a big sticker on the window, torque the lug nuts. I think it's like 450 foot-pounds, isn't it? So it's like 450 foot-pounds to torque these lug nuts down. You'll want to do that for about, they claim just once, but we did it about once a week for about 4 weeks straight. And it seemed to keep tight because we had them come loose on us a couple times. And so just torque them down. it wouldn't hurt to check them once a week. I mean, you're hauling a lot of weight. This machine hauls 12 bales. 14 if you put 2 on this. You know, if you're hauling the last bales out of the field, you can put 14 bales on this machine. And big 9-liter Cummins engine. It has all the power in the world. Thing will do 70 miles an hour down the road. It's all level 5 emissions. This was one concern I had. We really thought that we were going to catch fire on this a lot, and we never had any fire issues. They got the big water cannon now. That was an update that they put on when we got the, we had a fire extinguisher in it obviously, but they put that water cannon on when we sent it in to get the warranty work done. But this is level 5 emissions, and this is something cool. Mil-Stak has an 18-month warranty, but the emission system, this canister here has a 5-year warranty from Cummins. So pretty neat, because it's an expensive setup, but in 5 years you're gonna have a lot of bales on this thing. So that's pretty cool that they warranty it that long. It's got the Allison automatic in it, 100-gallon fuel tank. Your def and everything goes in here. You got the big Donaldson air filters. It takes the clean air from the top where the previous models did not. So that's pretty cool. It's got onboard air, so you can blow this machine off anywhere. Air tires up if you have a low tire or something, if you have to get out of the field or anything like that. The bed on this thing is way more heavy duty than a New Holland Harrow bed. The retrieving table is way heavier than like the second table on a New Holland Harrow bed. Everything about the clamp mounting to this machine is far superior, far heavier than what the New Holland bale wagon has. As you can see, this thing is 2 feet wide for the mounting in here, and on the New Hollands it's like a, I don't know, 6x6 square tube that kind of mounts up to a deal and has some cross members. This is just solid framing. The frame of this machine is phenomenal. The electronics, as far as the mag pickup sensors, they're not like New Holland quality, but they're not bad. And they did some updates on this machine where they had the bed lift sensor was here towards the back. I think it was right here, and they moved it so when you're setting the bed down, it's judging that your bed is down from here. Well, if that moves 1/4 of an inch, you might move 6-8 inches up top, where now they move that sensor up to the top to where when it's down, it's down. There's no adjustment there. So that's nice. That was one nice update that they did. But overall, I give this machine a strong A. I had some neighbors that had a Stinger, and the guy that he was a previous boss of mine that was running it, he'd stack, and it's kind of comparing apples to oranges. These will stack 1-ton bales. I would suggest if you're gonna have 1-ton bales, the Stinger was probably the way to go. 3/4 ton bales, this is the only way to go. This will outstack a Stinger. Any way you swing it, it's gonna outstack a Stinger. He'd haul, on his best days, he'd haul about 400 to 450 1-ton bales. And they, mind you, I say it's apples to oranges, but it's really not, because they bale with accumulators, so everything is in a row, where we weave back and forth across the fields to pick up bales. So he's hauling 400 to 450 1-ton bales a day, and we're hauling 1,000 3/4 ton bales in about roughly a 10-hour day with this machine. So they claim 120 bales an hour. You're not going to get it unless you're in perfect conditions. You can get 100 bales an hour. 80 bales an hour is a safe bet if you're on rough ground, rough terrain. If you're on smooth terrain, you're going to haul 100 bales an hour with this machine. So, you know, if you're out stacking 16 hours, you're going to haul 1,600 bales. If you're out stacking 10 hours, you're going to stack 1,000 bales with this machine. If you're on fairly good condition, you know, I mean, we have a lot of fields that have gopher mounds and shit, and it's rough and it's not the perfect conditions, but that's what we hauled with it. 42,000 bales on this one machine. So it's a hell of a machine. I figured, I don't really see a lot of information on this machine online. They're not really that old. They haven't been building them for very long, but we figured we'd put something online about it. It's definitely, if you have the means, I think you'd like it. They're expensive. I think this was shit, 320,000 bucks for this machine, brand new. I don't know what a Stinger is. I think a Stinger is just a little bit more than that. And I can tell you right now, I would outstack a stinger any day of the week. Richie would outstack a stinger any day of the week with this machine. No problem. It picks the bales up in direction. Stinger, you have to go opposite direction of the way the baler lays them on the ground. This is the fastest machine on the market as far as I'm concerned. Is for picking up 3/4 ton bales, this is the machine to have. It's definitely heavy enough. 1 ton bales, like I said, you can haul them. I feel like you would probably want a stinger if you were going to haul 1 ton bales, but this will haul 1 ton bales. But 3/4 ton bales, it's a no-brainer for speed. If you're going to put down a lot of bales, this is the one to have. Same like with the pull type Mil-Stak versus the 16K. You know, the 16K runners, they take power beyond on the tractor. They're not nearly as fast as a pull type Mil-Stak. They're close, but they're not as fast. You're going to stack probably a load and a half to 1 load on a pull type Mil-Stak to a 16K runner, and you're going to stack 2 to 3 loads versus the 1 load on that pull type Mil-Stak with this machine. So it was definitely a step up in the world. Like I said, we had 1 pull type and 2 of these, and we didn't even hardly run our pull type last year because these kept up with us. We've had 6 balers running. We put anywhere from 1,500 bales to 3,000 bales down a night, and these were the machine to have. So when we get to running it, hay season time, we'll do a little video of, I'll jump in the cab and have a video of this thing running, but it's pretty bad to the bone. So buddy seat, it's not like a New Holland Harrow bed. It's got a big ass cab, so you can have 2 people in there pretty comfortably.